Good evening, students. In the last class, we have studied about the menstruation cycle, spermatogenesis, and oogenesis. These three topics covered in the last class. In today's class, we are going to study about the how the fertilization takes place and how the implantation takes place and about the growth of the embryo. So these all topics we are studying in today's class. Okay. So let us start with the first topic of this first topic, that is fertilization and implantation. So, you know the meaning of the fertilization. What you mean by fertilization? It is the process of the fusion of the sperm with the ovum is called as a fertilization. Then what it forms when the sperm fuses with the ovum, what it forms? When the sperm fuses with the ovum, it forms the zygote, right? That is called as zygote. And what is the ploidy of this zygote? What is the ploidy of this zygote? Haploid or diploid? Yes, zygote is diploid, right? Because sperm is haploid and ovum is haploid. And when the sperm fuses with the ovum, that forms the zygote, that is diploid in nature. So when the fertilization occurs, when the copulation occurs. Copulation means when the sperm is, when the semen means which contain the sperm, which is released into the vagina. So then the fertilization takes place. At which place the fertilization takes place? The sperms, they will move, they will swim inside the uterus, they will pass the oviduct, they will reach the oviduct region, and especially in the place of the ampullary region. So where it is present, that is the part of the oviduct, largest part of the oviduct, right? Ampullary region is the largest part of the oviduct, and this is also an important point, that is the fertilization takes place. Fusion of the male and female gametes takes place at which place? That is at the ampullary region of the or ampulla region of the fallopian tube. Okay. Then, so how these sperms are moving in the uterus? So first they reach the, just imagine, this is the diagram of the female reproductive system. Okay. In the female reproductive system, what you observe? So here this part is called as a ampulla region. So in this part the fertilization takes place when the semen, so that is released to the vagina. So it passes through the cervix. This part is called as a cervix, you know that, and that moves in the uterus. Then it reach the ampullary region. So here there is a ovary. Ovary releases the ovum, you know that. This ovum that also move in the oviduct and reach the ampulla region. This region, exactly in this region, the fertilization takes place. Okay, so this is about the fertilization, how it takes place. Then, when the sperm that comes in contact with the ovum, this is the structure of the ovum. So simply we will draw the ovum like this, alva. So ovum anna now ಈ ತರ ಬಿಡಿಸ್ತೇವೆ, but actually it is covered by two main layers. So in this structure you can observe the two main layers of the ovum. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, that is the zona pellucida layer, and this is the corona radiata, right? These are the cells of the corona radiata, and inside this membrane ovum is present. This is nothing but the ovum, and this space is called as a perivitelline space. This diagram also can be asked in the MCQ question. Illi diagram anna kottu they may ask to label any one of these part. Okay, so idanna zona pellucida antare, and this is called as a This part is called as a corona radiata. Then how the sperm is able to fuse with the ovum? So during the fertilization, what happened? The sperm first it contact with the zona pellucida layer. Okay, when it passed through the corona radiata, then it should pass through the zona pellucida layer. This is the zona pellucida layer. So the uh, when the sperm enters into the ovum, so there is a certain changes occurs inside the ovum. So what happens inside the ovum? It blocks the entry of the other sperms. So there is no entry of, when the one sperm enter inside the ovum, there is no entry for the other sperms. Okay, almost all the time. And for the fertilization process to the entry of this sperm, so there is a specialized structure inside the sperm. Yesterday we have studied the structure of this sperm alva. So sperm ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು specialized structure ಇರುತ್ತೆ. What it is called? So this is the head region, then neck, then the middle piece, and the tail region. Itara. Just imagine. This is the structure of the sperm. Here in the head region, you can observe the nucleus and this part, especially the triangular shape part, that is called as a, what it is called? Just write down your answer in the comment box. What it is called? The triangular shape structure present in the head region. What it is called? That is called as a acrosome. So this acrosome part that helps for the penetration of the ovum. So ovum ಅನ್ನ penetrate ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ help ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ because this contains some enzymes, some hydrolytic enzymes. This acrosome part that help for the penetration of the ovum because it contains some hydrolytic enzymes. Okay. Yes, acrosome. Yes, correct answer. After that, this sperm enter into the ovum and fuse with the ovum and form the zygote. Okay, so this is about the fertilization. So after the fertilization, the sex determination can be takes place. So the sex determination is actually banned, but how the sex determination takes place, so scientifically that we can study in this topic. Okay, sex determination, you know that zygote, the ploidy of the zygote is, ploidy of the zygote is, that is 2n, means that is diploid. You know that males, they contain the chromosomes that is called as a XY chromosomes. In males, we can observe the XY chromosomes, and in females, we can observe the XX chromosomes. Always the females, they are having the XX chromosomes, and males, they are having the XY chromosomes. Okay. So let us see how this sex determination is done. So in the first step, you should know what is XX chromosome. So XX chromosome that forms the female and XY chromosome that forms the male. Alva. So here X chromosome during the formation of the ovum. Ovum formation ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಿದ್ರೆ, so that is ovum is haploid, right? This ovum that contain always X chromosome. Ovum ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಯಾವ chromosome ಇರುತ್ತೆ? X chromosome ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Then the sperm, it may contain X chromosome or it may contain Y chromosome. Okay. Ovum ಅಲ್ಲಿ female gamete always produces the ovum that contain the X chromosome. Ovum ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ chromosomes ಯಾವುದು? X chromosome. And sperm always contain which chromosome? That may be X chromosome or Y chromosome. Sperm ಅಲ್ಲಿ X chromosome ಇರಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ Y chromosome ಇರಬಹುದು. Okay. So during the fertilization, what happens? Ovum that fuses with the sperm. Alva? So that forms the zygote. Okay. See here. This is the ovum, and this ovum fuses with the sperm that contain the X chromosome, that zygote contain the XX chromosome. So if the zygote contain the XX chromosome, then the baby will develop into male or female. Is it male or female? XX chromosome ಇದ್ರೆ ಮೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ ಫಿಮೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ? Then always this ovum contain the X chromosome alva. So this ovum fuses with the sperm that contain the Y chromosome, the zygote that may contain the XY chromosome. So if the zygote contain the XY chromosome zygote develop ಆದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಮೇಲ್ ಬೇಬಿ ಆಗತ್ತಾ ಫಿಮೇಲ್ ಬೇಬಿ ಆಗತ್ತಾ? XY chromosome means male or female? Yes. Yes, write down your XY is male. Yes, Padmavati, your answer is right. XY means that will develop into a male baby. Yes, many students are writing the correct answer in the chat box. Yes, correct answer. That is the male baby. So here what we can say, females always produce the X chromosome containing ovum and sperm that may contain the X chromosome or Y chromosome. There is a 50% chance of the X chromosome in sperm and Y chromosome or Y chromosome. Alva? So scientifically what we can say here, ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ 3 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ 4 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Write a note on sex determination in humans. How sex determined in humans. Okay. So here scientifically what we can say, it is correct to say that sex of the baby is determined by the father, not by the mother. So give reason. Sex of the baby is determined by the father, not by the mother, because mother always produces the ovum that contain the X chromosome, but the male that produces the sperm that may contain the X chromosome or Y chromosome. So it is scientifically correct. The sex of the baby is determined by the father, not by the mother. Okay. So idanna nimge 3 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ 4 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಯಾವ ತರ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ವೈಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬರಿಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಫಿಮೇಲ್ ಓವಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಕ್ರೋಮೋಸೋಮ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಮೇಲ್ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಕ್ರೋಮೋಸೋಮ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಝೈಗೋಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆದಾಗ ಯಾವ ತರ ಝೈಗೋಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್. ಎನಿ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್? ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಓಕೆ. So next topic is fertilization and passage of the embryo through the fallopian tube. Already we have studied this topic, fertilization. So fertilization anna study ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಯಾವ ತರ fertilization ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. After the fertilization, what happens? So the zygote, what it will do after the fertilization? What happens to the zygote after the fertilization? Alva? So you know that the zygote is formed after the fertilization, that is diploid in nature. Alva? So that is diploid, and this passes through the different regions of the oviduct. So where the fertilization occurred? Fertilization occurred at the ampulla region. Alva? So this part is the infundibulum region, and this is the ampulla region. Then this is the isthmus region, and this is the uterus. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರಬಹುದು. This is the uterus part ಅಲ್ವಾ? So after the fertilization, that zygote should develop into a different stages, and after that it will enter into the uterus alva. So what happens in the fallopian tube after the fertilization, that we are studying. So this zygote that will start the mitotic division. Mitotic division means there is no formation of the haploid gametes ಅಲ್ವಾ? haploid cells formation ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಡಿಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಡ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಡಿಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಡೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಮೈಟೋಟಿಕ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಡಿಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಡ್ zygote that will start the mitotic division. So, ಈಗ diploid zygote that contain the ಟೂ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಝೈಗೋಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, 1 ಸೆಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. 1 ಸೆಲ್ ಇರೋದು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮೈಟೋಟಿಕ್ ಆದ್ರೆ 2 ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ದ 4 ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಮೈಟೋಟಿಕ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಈ ತರ ಡಿವಿಷನ್, ಝೈಗೋಟ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ದಿ 2 ಸೆಲ್, 4 ಸೆಲ್, 8 ಸೆಲ್ and 16 cell zygote. Then it is not at all called as a zygote, it is called as a blastomere. Okay, so when the it is called as also called as a cleavage of the zygote. Cleavage ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ zygote ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Just imagine this is the zygote that will divide, it will undergo the mitotic division and form the 2 cells. Then again it undergo the mitotic division and form the 4 cells. So it is called as a blastomeres. Okay, here you can observe 4 cell stage, 8 cell, 16 cell and 32 cell. So like that you can observe the mitotic division in the zygote, that is called as a blastomere. Here very important point is the embryo with 8 to 16 blastomere is called as a morula. 8 to 16 blastomere is called as a morula ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. Here you can observe the morula stage of this blastomere. Then again this morula that will divide and form the blastocyst. ಈ morula ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ 32 cell stage ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಅ ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟೋಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ದೆನ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟೋಸಿಸ್ಟ್, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದ ಮೊರುಲಾ ಅಂಡ್ ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟೋಸಿಸ್ಟ್. ಮೊರುಲಾ ಇಸ್ ದ 8 to 16 ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟೋಮಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಬಟ್ ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟೋಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟೋಸಿಸ್ಟ್? So in the blastocyst, these blastomeres, they are arranged at the outer layer. So here you can observe these blastomeres, they are arranged at the outer layer, and you can observe the some cells inside this blastomere. So this is called as a blastocyst. Il nodi, the blastomeres in the blastocyst, they are arranged into an outer layer called tropoblast. This layer is called as a tropoblast. Don't confuse. Don't confuse. Here, these are called as a blastomeres. Okay, so these blastomeres, they are arranged in the outer line, these cells, dividing cells alva. So they are called as a blastomeres. They are arranged in the outer layer, they are forming the outer layer in the blastocyst. They are called as a tropoblast layer, and you can observe group of cells inside, that is called as a inner cell mass. Okay, that is called as a inner cell mass. So after the blastocyst stage, here you can observe the implantation of this blastocyst. So what is implantation? What is implantation? Can you write the definition of the implantation? Where it occurs? Where the implantation occurs? Then implantation occurs at the which layer of the uterus? Endometrium or myometrium or perimetrium? In which part of the uterus implantation occurs? Implantation occurs at the endometrium, that is the inner line of the uterus, right? So that tropoblast layer get attached to the endometrium layer, and this attachment is called as a implantation. Okay, and as a result, the blastocyst becomes embedded in the endometrium of the uterus. So ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ, blastocyst ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ endometrium layer ಅಲ್ಲಿ. So inside the uterus, it is attached in the endometrium layer, and this process is called as a implantation, and it leads to the pregnancy. What is pregnancy then? When the blastocyst get attached to the endometrium of the uterus, then it leads to the pregnancy. Okay, so this is about the fertilization and the development of the embryo. How the development of the embryo takes place? Zygote that will undergo the mitotic division and forms the 2 cell stage, 4 cell stage, 8, 16 cell stage here. Here we call 8 to 16 cell blastomere is called as a morula. Okay. Then this morula that will develop into blastula, but it is not mentioned in your NCERT, but it is important. Morula ಏನಾಗಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟುಲಾ ಆಗಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ and this blastula develop into blastocyst. Blastocyst ಅಲ್ಲಿ so there is a formation of the a layer of blastomeres outer line, outer side, that is called as a tropoblast layer, and inside that you can observe the inner cell mass. So that is the development of the zygote ಯಾವ ತರ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಂಬ್ರಿಯೋ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ there is a implantation will takes place. Implantation takes place in which layer of the uterus? That is at the endometrium, and that blastocyst attached to the endometrium, and that leads to the pregnancy. I hope this topic is clear. If you have any doubts, you can write down in the comment box. Another doubt idya? Any doubts? Okay. Let us discuss some MCQ questions based on this topic. So here 2 marks, 3 marks, 4 marks question. Already while teaching, I will say that question. You can note down that. But we are solving the MCQ questions here. Okay. So please write down the questions, or you can write down the answer in the comment box. So first question is, the cleavage of fertilized egg starts in. So fertilized egg, that is called as a zygote. The cleavage of the zygote, where the mitotic division means cleavage. So dividing of this zygote. So that will start at oviduct, ovary, option C uterus, option D vagina. So where it start? Yes, Mallappa. Yes, your answer is correct. That is at the oviduct. The cleavage of the fertilized egg, alva. So oviductally, the fertilization occurs at the ampullary region, and after that, inside the oviduct only, there is a cleavage of the fertilized egg start. No, uterus. Uterus is the wrong answer. Implantation after the fertilization, after the cleavage, the implantation takes place at the uterus. There is no cleavage of the egg in the uterus. Ovary that releases the ovum. There is no cleavage of the egg. There is no fertilization takes place. In the vagina, there is a passage of the semen. Sperms will swim in the vagina, and then it reaches to the oviduct. So these remaining 3 answers are wrong. First one is the correct answer. Second question. Fertilization involves all of the following except. What is there in the fertilization? Equal contributions of cell organelles from sperm and egg. Read the question properly. Second option, joining of the sperm and egg nuclei. Sperm binding to the specific sites on the egg surface. Metabolic activation of the egg. What is the correct answer for this question? Read the question properly. Fertilization involves all of the following except. Means which of the following is not involved in the fertilization? What is the correct answer? Here, read the first option. Equal contributions of cell organelles from the sperm and egg. But one thing you should know that when the sperm that reaches the ovum, there is no equal contribution of the cell organelles in the zygote, because more cell organelles that is from the ovum, okay, that is from the egg, not from the sperm contains sperm that is containing very few cell organelles. Sperm ಇಂದ ಕಡಿಮೆ cell organelles ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ zygote ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ zygote ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ there is no equal contributions of the cell organelles from the sperm and egg. ಇಲ್ಲಿ egg cell organelles ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, so that is used more in this. Okay, there is no equal contribution, so first one is the correct answer. But fertilization involves, yes, fertilization involves the joining of sperm and egg nuclei. Yes, that is the correct answer. And sperm binding to the specific sites of on the egg surface, yes, that is also correct. Metabolic activation of the egg, so that is also takes place in the fertilization. But first one, that is not involved in the fertilization. I hope this one is clear. Third one, embryo with 18 to 16 blastomere is called morula, blastocyst, inner mass, tropoblast. What is the correct answer for the third question? Fertilization, sorry, embryo with 18 to 16 cell blastomere is called morula, blastocyst, inner mass, tropoblast. Yes, that is called as a morula. Very important. This question is asked many times as a 1 marks question. That is called as a morula. Blastocyst. So what is blastocyst? It is not 18 to 16 cell stage. Alva. So blastocyst, that is having the outer layer, that is called as a tropoblast, and you can observe the inner cell mass inside the blastocyst. So these three are not the correct answer. Yes, morula. Fourth question. Fertilization takes place in which part of the oviduct? Where the fertilization takes place? Ampulla, infundibulum, isthmus, uterus. In which part of the oviduct there is a fertilization takes place? Yes. What is the correct answer? Yes, ampulla. Yes, many students are writing the correct answer. That is fourth one. Fertilization does not takes at uterus. Don't write the wrong answer. Not at the isthmus. It takes place at the ampulla region. Not at the uterus. Not at the isthmus region. Not at the infundibulum region. Okay. So it takes place at the ampulla region. Many are writing option D. Implantation takes place at the uterus, but fertilization does not take place at the uterus. Uterus ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Yes, ampulla region. Fourth one. Next question. Select the proper sequence in the development of an embryo. Correct the. So observe the answer properly and write down the answer in your comment box. Okay. Here, select the proper sequence in the development of an embryo. Cleavage, morula, blastocyst, tropoblast and inner cell mass, fertilization, blastocyst, implantation, cleavage, blastocyst, morula, inner cell mass and tropoblast, implantation, second meiotic division, fertilization, that forms the zygote, and implantation. What is the correct answer? Fifth one. Fifth one. First. So here, which is the correct answer? Embryo development. Embryo development start with the cleavage. Alva? Cleavage in the start agate. But observe the remaining options. Blastocyst, that is not the first stage of the embryo development. So that is the wrong answer. And second, meiotic division, that does not occurs at the development of the embryo. And fertilization, okay, fertilization takes place after that. Blastocyst will not form, and there is no cleavage after the implantation. Fourth option ನೋಡಿ, implantation ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ cleavage ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. Implantation ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ cleavage ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. So you can say the first one is the correct answer. That is cleavage, morula, that develop into blastocyst, that contain the tropoblast and inner cell mass. So that is the correct answer. Option A. Sixth question. Morula is an embryonic developmental stage that is formed. Morula is an embryonic developmental stage that is formed between zygote and blastocyst, between implantation and parturition, between blastocyst and gastrula, more than one of the above. What is the correct answer for the sixth question? Here, morula. Morula is formed after the zygote. Alva? So, zygote division agi enagatte? Morula stage formation agatte. Yes, zygote is formed between the zygote and blastocyst. Blastocyst. Okay. See the second option. Between implantation and parturition. Implantation occurs at the last stage and parturition is the delivery of the baby. There is no morula stage in between the implantation and parturition. Between the blastocyst and gastrula. Okay. Blastocyst that develop into gastrula, there is no morula stage between the blastocyst and gastrula. Morula formed before the blastocyst. Morula ಏನಾಗಿದೆ blastocyst ಗಿಂತ ಮೊದಲೇ form ಆಗತ್ತೆ. So you can say that third option is also correct and more than one of the above, that is not correct one. So which is the correct answer for the sixth question? That is first one. Between the zygote and blastocyst. Yes. See the seventh question. Penetration of zona pellucida by sperm is facilitated by the enzymes present in. So here, ovum that contains the zona pellucida layer and the sperms that will swim and reach the ovum and penetrate the zona pellucida layer. So for the penetration, which part of the sperm is helping? Middle piece, tail, acrosome, nucleus. What is the correct answer for the seventh one? What is the answer? No, seventh one, Akash, and A is not a correct answer. Many are writing A. Middle piece that contain the mitochondria and provide the energy for the sperm to swim. There is no enzymes present in the middle piece that facilitate the penetration. Middle piece is the not correct answer. Tail that help for the swimming, and nucleus that contain the genetic material, but acrosome, that part contain the enzyme. So C is the correct answer. Read the question carefully. Penetration of the zona pellucida by sperm is facilitated by the enzymes present in acrosome. Acrosomally, this is the direct question. Acrosomes ಅಲ್ಲಿ enzymes ಇರುತ್ತೆ, penetration ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ acrosome help ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. But there is no nucleus is helping for the penetration of the zona pellucida layer, and there is no role of the tail for the penetration, and middle piece that contain the mitochondria. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ mitochondria that provides the energy for the sperm for the swimming purpose, right? So option C is the correct answer. Eighth question. Read the question properly. In humans, the zygote carrying XX chromosomes develop into female and XY chromosome develop into male baby. Yes, XX chromosomes zygote that will develop into female and XY chromosome that will develop into male baby. Thus, scientifically, it is correct to say that the sex of the baby is determined by father, mother, grandfather, and grandmother. What is the correct answer? The sex of the baby is determined by. Yes, write down the answer. Yes, sex of the baby is determined by the father. Yes, many are writing the answer. 81A, 81A. Yes, correct answer. Very good. Lingaraju. Yes, he is writing the correct answer. Father. Yes. Ninth one. If the ovum carrying X chromosome, ovum is carrying the X chromosome and sperm carrying the X chromosome, fuses to form the zygote, develop into male, female, twin babies. Only three options are given here. Just read the question properly. Ovum is carrying the X chromosome and sperm is also carrying the chromosomes. They fuses to form the zygote that is having the XX chromosome. That zygote will develop into male, female or twin babies. XX chromosomes means XX. Remember, XX chromosomes in human beings means that is the female. That is female. Yes, correct answer is female. In human females, the fertilized eggs get implanted in the uterus after. In the females, if the egg that fertilized with the sperm, that get fertilized with the sperm and forms the zygote, that the zygote should move to the uterus for the implantation. So within how many days it will take place? Within the 7 days of the fertilization. Within the 7 days of the fertilization, the cleavage and the developmental stage of the zygote completes and it forms the developmental stage of the blastocyst and it will get implanted in the uterus. Okay, so that is the correct answer. Option C is the correct answer for the 10th question. Yes. Next, very important topic is pregnancy and embryonic development. You know that after the implantation takes place at the uterus, there is a finger-like projections appear on the trophoblast layer. So you know that implantation occurs and this is, just imagine this is the trophoblast layer and there is a formation of finger-like structure outside the trophoblast layer that is called as a chronic villi. What is chronic villi? 1 marks question or 2 mark question. After the implantation, finger-like projections appear on the tropoblast layer. You know the what is tropoblast layer in the blastocyst, alva? That is called as a chronic villi. And this chronic villi and uterine tissues become interdigitate and they will jointly form the very important structural and functional unit between the developing embryo and maternal body. Maternal body means mother body. That is called as a placenta. Here, very important thing is placenta. What is placenta? That is also important question. What is placenta? This chronic villi means you know that they are the finger-like projections formed around the tropoblast layer and some uterine tissues. Very important, chronic villi and uterine tissue become interdigitate with each other and jointly form a structural and functional unit between the developing embryo, that is the fetus. Developing embryo is called as a fetus and maternal body, that is a mother body. In between the fetus and the mother body, that is called as a placenta. So here 1 marks question is also asked, what is placenta? And what are the hormones? What is the functions of the placenta? Placenta is the structural and functional unit between the developing embryo that is present in the uterus. Uterus matte embryo matte mother body jote. So that is the connecting link. Okay. That is called as a placenta. Then what is the functions of the placenta? Placenta yen ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? Here you can observe the developing embryo. In this diagram, this is the developing embryo and here you can observe the umbilical cord that connects to the placenta. Here you can observe the placenta. ಈ region ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು placenta ನ observe ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. This umbilical cord ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ embryo ಮತ್ತೆ placenta ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, and this is the yolk sac that is very less in human, and this you can observe, that is the embryo. And plug of the mucus in the cervix. In the cervix region, you can observe the mucus here. So this is the structure of the developing embryo. And what is the function of the placenta? Placenta function ಏನು ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ? Very important for 2 marks, 3 marks question. Write the functions of the placenta and in the MCQ also it may be asked. Okay. So very important concept placenta. Placenta ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮಗೆ 1 marks, 2 marks, 3 marks question ಅನ್ನ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. Here, what is the functions of placenta? The placenta facilitate the supply of oxygen and nutrients to the embryo. Embryoಕ್ಕೆ oxygen ಮತ್ತೆ nutrients ಅನ್ನ, developing embryo needs nutrients, right, for their development. So that is supplied by which part of the uterus? That is the placenta. Then it also helps for the removal of the carbon dioxide and the waste materials produced by the embryo. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ placenta function ಏನು? First function is that helps for the supply of the oxygen. Oxygen supply ಯಾವ part ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? For the embryo, developing embryo, and nutrient supply, that is also by the placenta, and removal of the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide which is produced in the embryo. ಎಂಬ್ರಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂಡ್ ಸಮ್ waste materials, nitrogenous waste also removed by the placenta. And this placenta is connected to the embryo through an umbilical cord which helps the transport of the substances to and from the embryo. So there is a umbilical cord, alva? This umbilical cord that helps for the transport the substance to the and from the embryo. This umbilical cord, ಈ umbilical cord through ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? So this placenta supply the oxygen and remove the carbon dioxide or nitrogenous waste through this umbilical cord. So that is the function of the umbilical cord. And very important, note down this, very important, placenta also act as endocrine tissue. What do you mean by endocrine gland or endocrine tissue? What do you mean by endocrine gland or endocrine tissue? What do you mean by endocrine tissues? Endocrine tissues means they secrete the hormones, alva. Placenta that act as a endocrine tissue because that placenta releases some hormones. So here, which hormones are produced by the placenta? This is also important. So here, several hormones like HCG. What is the full form of HCG? Human chorionic gonadotrophin hormone. Human chorionic gonadotrophin hormone produced by the placenta, and human placental lactogen HPL. HPL, human placental lactogen, and estrogen, progesterones. These all hormones, they are produced by the placenta. So it is called as a, it act as a endocrine tissue. So this may be asked in your exam. Why placenta is called as a endocrine tissue? Because it act or it produces some hormones like HCG, HPL, estrogen, and progesterones. Very, very important for your board exam as well as CET. So which one of the following is not released by the placenta? ಈ ತರನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇದ್ ನಾಲ್ಕು ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Then in the later phase of the hormone pregnancy, hormone called relaxin is released by the ovary. See here, very important. Again, one more important point. In the later phase of the pregnancy, a hormone called relaxin hormone. This relaxin hormone is secreted by the ovary, not by the placenta. Placenta releases progesterone, estrogen, and HCG and HPL. Alva, full form annu kuda nodkondiri. But relaxin that released by the ovary. One more important point, HCG, HPL and relaxin are produced in women only during the pregnancy. Remember this, HCG, HPL and relaxin, these three hormones produced only during the pregnancy. ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆನ್ಸಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಈ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ರೋಜನ್ಸ್ ಕಾಮನ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್, ರೈಟ್? But during the pregnancy, HCG, HPL and relaxin are produced. So this is also one of the important point. And during the pregnancy, the levels of the hormones like estrogens, progesterones, cortisol hormone, prolactin hormone, thyroxine hormone, they are increased several folds in the maternal blood. ಸೊ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗಿರತ್ತೆ, ಈಸ್ಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಪ್ರೊಜೆಸ್ಟಿರಾನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಕಾರ್ಟಿಸೋಲ್, prolactin that is produced by the pituitary gland that is stimulate the mammary gland. Okay, prolactin ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಪಿಟ್ಯೂಟರಿ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇಂದ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ಮ್ಯಾಮರಿ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸ್ಟಿಮ್ಯುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಮಿಲ್ಕ್, ಅಂಡ್ ಥೈರಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಬೈ ದಿ ಥೈರಾಯ್ಡ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್. So these all are, they are more in the maternal blood, and this is essential for the supporting the fetal growth. So that is helpful for the fetal growth. So these all are very, very important for your board exam as well as CET. So I'm repeatedly saying that very important. Remember the hormones name which are producing only during the pregnancy, which are produced by the placenta, which are produced by the ovary during the pregnancy. So these all points you can make the short note. Okay. So there is a 100% chance of the asking the question on this topic. Then after the implantation, the inner mass of cells differentiate into outer layer called ectoderm and inner layer called endoderm. Implantation, so after the implantation, so inner mass of cells, you have observed that You have observed that inner cells of mass, they will develop into ectoderm and endoderm. And mesoderm soon appears between the ectoderm and endoderm. Okay. So inner cell mass ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ectoderm ಮತ್ತೆ endoderm ಮತ್ತೆ mesoderm ಆಗಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Then these three layers give rise to all tissues in adult. So these three tissues, ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm, they are responsible for the formation of, give rise to the some organs in the adult. And one more important point here, inner cell mass contains certain cells, they are called as a stem cells, which are having the potency to give rise to all the tissues and organs. Very important. The question will be like this. Inner cell mass contains certain cells which have the potency to give rise to all the tissues and organs. Which cell of the inner cell mass that is having the ability to develop into a all tissues and organs, that is stem cells. Note down this point. Stem cells. Very important. Then development of the embryo. How the development takes place in the mother womb. So this is also very important for your CET point. Okay. So ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೇನೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ ಯಾವ್ದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. Yes, development of the embryo. You know that pregnancy in human beings, that is last for the 9 months. 9 months of the pregnancy, that is divided into 3 trimester. Means first trimester means that includes the 3 months. Second trimester and the third trimester. The 9 months of the pregnancy, that is divided into 3 trimester. That is first trimester, second trimester and the third trimester. Means totally 9 months. And after 1 month, 1 month means how many weeks? 1 month. After the 1 month means after 4 weeks, the first sign of the growing fetus may be noticed by listening the heart sound carefully by the stethoscope. After the 1 month, first sign of the growing fetus. What is the first sign of the growing fetus observed? What is the first sign of the growing fetus observed? So that is a heartbeat. The embryo's heart is formed. Heart is formed within a 1 month. After the 1 month of the pregnancy, and you can observe the heartbeat after the 1 month using the stethoscope. So you can observe this heartbeat of the fetus after the 1 month of the pregnancy. So embryo heart formation ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಗತ್ತೆ? Option ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. After 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 9 month. So heart is formed. Development of the heart takes place in the embryo after the 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month. Yes. So that is formed after the 1 month. That is also important. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? Next, by the end of the second month of the pregnancy, fetus develops the limbs and digits. Second month of the pregnancy. So when it completes the 2 month, it forms the limbs and digits. Limbs formation ಆಗತ್ತೆ, digits ಅಲ್ವಾ? So limbs ಅಲ್ಲಿ digits formation ಆಗತ್ತೆ. Limbs and digits form after the this month of the pregnancy, that is after the second month. This is also second important point. Then by the end of the 12 weeks, 12 weeks means how many months? By the end of the 12 weeks means how many months? 12 week ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು months ಆಗತ್ತೆ? 12 weeks means how many months? 12 week. 12 week means that is, yes, 3 months, not 4 months. 12 week means that is the first trimester. trimester means in the completion of the first trimester, most of the major organ systems are formed. For example, limbs and external genitalia organs are well developed. This is the third important point. ಇದನ್ನ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೊ 3 months ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಎಂಬ್ರಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ? So major organ system, for example, external genitalia is formed and they are well developed. External genitalia is developed in which month of the pregnancy? So that is also MCQ question. External genitalia is formed in which month of the, after the completion of the which month? That is the first trimester or 12 weeks or 3 months. Option will be anything. 3 months anta kodbodu, 12 week anta kodbodu, ಅಥವಾ first trimester anta kodbodu. So that is the third important point. ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, very very important. Okay. Then next, the first movement of the fetus. The first movements of the fetus and appearance of the hair on the head are usually observed during the 5th month. The first hair on the head that appears in which month of the pregnancy? You can observe the options like 1 month, 2 month, 4 month, 5 month. Hair growth ಆಗತ್ತೆ on the head that you can observe in the 5th month. And one more thing, the first movements of the fetus. First movement of the fetus ಕೂಡ ಯಾವಾಗ observe ಆಗತ್ತೆ? 5th month ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Hair development ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಗತ್ತೆ? So that is also during the 5th month. ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಈ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಎಂಬ್ರಿಯೋ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ MCQ ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮ CET ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಕೂಡ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಈ ಸಲನೂ ಕೂಡ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಒಂದು ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ನೋಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡಿ. ಬೈ ದ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ 24 weeks. 24 weeks means how many months? That is the second trimester. So the body is covered with fine hair, eyelids separate, eyelashes are formed. Eyelids are separate and eyelashes are formed. So idannu kuda keltare. The body is covered with the fine hair, eyelids are separate and eyelashes are formed in end of the which month of the pregnancy? That is 24 weeks and at the end of the second trimester. So anything it can be given, that is a, so 24 weeks means 12 months. No, it is wrong. That is 6 month. 24 weeks antanu kodbodu, 6 month antanu kodbodu. Then by the end of the 9 months pregnancy, the fetus is well developed and ready to the delivery. So ಯಾವ ತರ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮಂತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ? ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಮಂತ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಮಂತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ? 5th ಮಂತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ? 6th ಮಂತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ? ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ 9th month you can observe the well developed baby that is released for the ready for the delivery. So like this the development of the embryo takes place inside the uterus. So is that clear? So I'm repeatedly saying that make a one short note on this. So definitely this will be asked for your exam. Last topic of this human reproduction chapter, that is the parturition. What do you mean by parturition? You know that the gestation period. What do you mean by gestation period? That is the pregnancy period of the human beings, that is called as a gestation. The average duration of the pregnancy. The average duration of the pregnancy, that is called as a gestation period, right? What is gestation period? That also asked. So after the 9 months, 9 months ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ? So vigorous contraction of the uterus takes place. The contraction of the uterus that takes place, so that causes the expulsion or delivery of the fetus, means the process of the delivery of the fetus, that is called as a parturition. So parturition is nothing but that is the delivery of the baby from the mother uterus. Uterus in the uterus contraction start agi ಆ ಬೇಬಿ ಫೀಟಸ್ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಲ್ಡ್, ಅದೇನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ಎ ಡೆಲಿವರಿ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಅ ಪಾರ್ಚುರೇಷನ್. ಇನ್ ಬಯಾಲಜಿ ವಿ ಕಾಮನ್ಲಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಡೆಲಿವರಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ that is nothing but the parturition. So how this parturition takes place? Again, there is some hormonal uh, changes takes place in the human body during the parturition. So how it induces parturition? Parturition is induced by a complex neuroendocrine mechanism. And so how it originate? The signals for the parturition originate from the fully developed fetus. Okay. So when the fetus is ready for the delivery, some signals that develop from the fetus, so that leads to the parturition. Means when the signals reach the neuroendocrine system, so here there is a mild induce of the uterine contraction and fetal ejection reflex. So what is fetal ejection reflex? What is fetal ejection reflex? The signals for the parturition originate from fully developed fetus and the placenta. ಇದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು. ದ ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಪಾರ್ಚುನೇಷನ್ ಒರಿಜಿನೇಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್, so from where it is originated? Only from the fetus, fully developed fetus? No, fetus as well as placenta. So they both induce the mild uterine contraction, that is called as a fetal ejection reflex. ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. Then so this triggers the release of the oxytocin. Oxytocin is a pituitary hormone, maternal pituitary hormone, and this oxytocin is released during the parturition. So that helps for the, that causes the muscle and stronger uterine contraction. Uterine contraction ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ this oxytocin is helping. From where it is releasing? It is releasing from the pituitary gland. Oxytocin ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, pituitary gland ಇಂದ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. And what is the function of the oxytocin? That forms the more muscle contraction, uterine contraction. Uterine contraction ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ parturition ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. Yes, so that is the role of the oxytocin. ನೋಡಿ oxytocin role ಏನು. Then what is fetal ejection reflex? How the fetal ejection reflex is induced? That is induced by the, that the signal originate from the fully developed fetus and the placenta. So these all are very important. Then after the stimulatory reflex between the uterine contraction and oxytocin secretion continues. Oxytocin secrete continuously and it results the stronger and stronger contraction. Oxytocin causes the stronger contraction in the uterus and that leads to the expulsion of the baby. That is the delivery of the baby. That is called as a parturition. Soon after the infant is delivered, the placenta is also expelled out of the uterus. The placenta is not remaining at the uterus, that is also expelled by the uterus, through the uterus. Yes. Then lactation. Yes. The mammary glands of the female, they will undergo differentiation during the pregnancy. So after the delivery of the baby, so this lactation means the production of the milk towards the end of the pregnancy. So pregnancy complete ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, milk production ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So in the mammary glands. So during the pregnancy time ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಾ ಇರತ್ತೆ, so the mammary glands, they are undergoing the differentiation. So at the end of the pregnancy, there is a production of the milk takes place, that is called as a lactation. So very important, what is lactation? So it is the mammary glands of the female undergo differentiation during the pregnancy and starts producing the milk towards the end of the pregnancy by the process that is called as a lactation. Then so that help for the feeding of the newborn, and this milk, that mother milk that contain the very important protein that is called as a colostrum, which contain antibodies irutte, and that antibodies that help for the fight against the uh, any other virus, bacteria. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ನ್ಯೂ ಬಾರ್ನ್ ಬೇಬಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಬಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಬಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮಿಲ್ಕ್, ಮದರ್ ಮಿಲ್ಕ್, that contain the colostrum, and that will be helpful for the fight against the diseases in newborn babies. Okay, so this is about the lactation. And if you have any doubts, you can ask in the comment box. So this is the last topic of the human reproduction chapter. So after this, again, we are discussing the some MCQ question related to this topic. So if you have any doubts, you can write down in the comment box. Yes, any doubts? Okay. First question is, the pregnancy test is based on the detection of luteinizing hormone, HCG, progesterone, estrogen. So what is the function of the yolk sac? Okay. So in human beings, there is no proper function of the yolk sac, but in egg producing structures, animals like reptiles and amphibians, this yolk is providing the nutrients for the developing embryo. That is the function of the yolk sac. So in human beings, that yolk sac that is not having the much more function. What is oogenesis? Oogenesis that I explained in the last class. Please watch the last class in the YouTube. It is available in the YouTube. How the twins are produced. Okay. So how the twins are produced? There is a two ways of the production of the twin babies. Okay. So twin babies ಹೇಗೆ production ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ. Here, first thing, this is the ovum that is having the X chromosome, and this is the sperm that is having the X or Y chromosome. Okay, X or Y chromosome. So when this fuses, that is forming the XX or XY, alva? XY agbodu athwa XX agbodu. That is the zygote. So after the formation of the zygote formation admele, after this is the zygote. Just imagine this is the zygote that is having the XY. This zygote that will again divide into two of this, two of this like XY ಮತ್ತೆ XY. ಈ zygote ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್. zygote ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ತರ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ, there is a formation of the twin babies. Or one more thing is, so sometimes in the female, very rarely two eggs are produced. ಎರಡು egg production ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಎರಡು egg production ಆದಾಗ the two sperm fuses with the X chromosome and forms the two zygote, and that will develop into twin babies. ಈ ತರ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ಎರಡು ತರ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. Mainly first type is the production of the two ovum. ಎರಡು ovum production ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. That is a rare condition ಅಲ್ವಾ? So ಆ condition ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಬಹುದು, twin babies production ಆಗಬಹುದು. Or after the fusion of the gamete, zygote production ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ division ಆಗಿ, not cleavage, division ಆಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ twin babies ಆಗಬಹುದು. Okay. Yes. Okay, look at the first question. The pregnancy test is based on the detection of which hormone? Yes, first one answer is human chorionic gonadotropin. Okay, this luteinizing hormone that is more at the time of the release of the ovum. Ovum release ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ luteinizing hormone ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, but not at the pregnancy. It is not helping for the detection of the pregnancy. Progesterone that is not used for the uh, test of the pregnancy, and estrogen is not present at the not used for the test for the pregnancy, because this human chorionic gonadotropin ಏನಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, so that may be observed in the urine through ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಯೂರಿನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆನ್ಸಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್. ಉಳಿದಿರೋದನ್ನ ಯಾಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಂಡಿರಿ. Second question is, placenta does not secrete which of the following? Human chorionic gonadotropin, human placental lactogen, progesterone, prolactin. Yes, which is the correct answer? Write down the answer. Write down the correct answer. Second one C. Second one D. Okay. Yes, this first one, human chorionic gonadotropin, that is released by the placenta here, which is not secreted by the placenta anta kelidare. Human placental lactogen, that is also released by the placenta, and progesterone and estrogens, that is also released by the placenta during the pregnancy. But this prolactin is released by the pituitary gland that stimulate the mammary gland to produce the milk. Okay, so correct answer is prolactin. And note down what is the function of the prolactin and from where it is secret. Prolactin is the correct answer. Third question, what contains the vascular connection between the mother and fetus? So the connection between the mother and the fetus, what it is called? The connection between the mother and fetus. Placenta, amnion, chorionic villi, umbilical cord. Here observe the vascular connection between the mother and the fetus. What is the correct answer? Yes, umbilical cord is the correct answer. Here, see the question properly. Mother and the fetus. So, mother ಮತ್ತೆ fetus ಮಧ್ಯೆ connection ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ದು ಯಾವುದು? Umbilical cord. Right? Chorionic villi and placenta amnion. So, that is not the correct answer. Here, amnion, that is a membrane that is found around the embryo. That is called as the amnion ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. Fourth question. The hormone that reaches its highest level during the post-ovulatory phase. The hormone that reaches its highest level during the post-ovulatory phase. Post-ovulatory phase means after the ovulation. Ovulation ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ, so which of the hormone reaches its highest? Progesterone, estrogen, follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. Yes. Here, luteinizing hormone is highest during the mid cycle of the menstrual cycle, and estrogen is released by the developing follicles. Follicle stimulating hormone that is also released before the ovulation, but progesterone, that is the post ovulatory hormone, progesterone is secreted by which part of the ovary? Progesterone is secreted by which part of the ovary? Progesterone is secreted by the corpus luteum. Corpus luteum. That is formed by the ruptured Graafian follicle. Next question. What are the finger-like projections of trophoblast called? The finger-like projections of trophoblast called endometrium, placenta, chorionic villi, fetus. What is the correct answer? Endometrium, that is the part of the uterus and that will not form the finger-like projection. Placenta, that provides the nutrition and that is a structural and functional unit. But chorionic villi, that is called as, that is like a finger-like projections around the trophoblast layer. So correct answer is chorionic villi. Yes. Next question. Next question. Chorionic villi and uterine tissue fuse to form. What they will form? Zygote, blastula, placenta, endometrium. Yes. Zygote is formed by the fusion of the sperm and ovum. Blastula, that is the developmental stage of the embryo. Placenta, endometrium is the part of the uterus, but placenta, that is formed by the chorionic villi and uterine tissue. To when they will fuse, they will form the placenta. So correct answer is option C. Option B is not correct answer. Option C is the correct answer. Seventh question. Which of the following is not the function of the placenta? Read the question properly. Which of the following is not the function of placenta? Supply of the nutrients to the fetus, removal of excretory products from the fetus, supply of the carbon dioxide to the fetus, supply of the oxygen to the fetus. What is the correct answer? Correct answer in a comment ಮಾಡಿ. Seventh one, C. Yes, many are writing the correct answer. That is C. Supply of the carbon dioxide to the fetus, because that is not supply, that should be a removal of the carbon dioxide. Fetus does not need the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide supply ಬೇಡ ಅಲ್ವಾ fetusಗೆ. So correct answer is the option C. Eighth question. Which hormone is produced by the ovary only during the pregnancy? See here, produced by the ovary only during the pregnancy. Which one of these correct answer? Progesterone, chorionic human chorionic gonadotrophin, relaxin, placental lactogen. Yes, what is the correct answer? Option C, relaxin. Yes. Yes. Option C, relaxin. Yes, very good. Many are writing the answer. Progesterone, which is not produced by the ovary, and human chorionic gonadotropin released by the placenta. Alva? And placental lactogen, that is also by the placenta, but relaxin, that is released by the ovary, that is secreted by the ovary, but only during the pregnancy. Remember this point, only during the pregnancy. Yes. Next question is, read the question properly. In humans, the number of ova and sperms that would be produced from the 100 secondary oocytes and 100 secondary spermatocytes during the gametogenesis is. Read the question properly. So here 100 secondary oocytes are there. Secondary spermatocytes. Secondary spermatocytes. Okay. Secondary spermatocytes are there. They are 100 and secondary oocytes, they are also 100. But how many sperms and ovums are produced from these? Secondary spermatocytes are 100 and secondary oocytes are 100. How many sperms and how many ovum are produced from this? Ninth one. Okay. You know that secondary oocytes, again they will undergo the complete the second meiotic division and form the only one ovum. ಎಷ್ಟು spermatocyte ಇದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ovum ಅನ್ನ production ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, because it is producing the one polar body. So 100 ovum is produced. So here you can take the option B and C. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 100 ova is produced. You can eliminate the first and last option ಅಲ್ವಾ. Then secondary spermatocytes, they are haploid in number. So they complete the second meiotic division. So 100 secondary spermatocyte ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ each spermatocytes they will produce the two, they complete the second meiotic alva. They produce the two, each secondary spermatocyte that produces the two. So you can say that how many, that is the 200 100, they will produce the 200 sperms. So option C is the correct answer. ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. That is the 200 sperms. One secondary spermatocyte that is producing the two sperms. Totally 100 spermatocytes, they are producing the 200 sperms. That is the correct answer. See here. Stem cells that are capable of giving rise to all the tissues and organs are present in. Where does these stem cells are present? Cumulus oophorus of the Graafian follicle, they are present. They are not present at the Graafian follicle. Lutein cells of the corpus luteum. Stem cells are not present at the corpus luteum, right? And tropoblast cells of the developing embryo, they are not present at the tropoblast layer, tropoblast cells, but they are present at the inner cell mass of the developing embryo. Alva, inner cell mass alli ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So that contain the stem cells, and that stem cells are present at the inner cell mass of the developing embryo. That is the correct answer. Next question. Which of the following groups of hormones produced in women only during the pregnancy? Nodi, question nodi. Which of the following groups of hormones produced in women only during the pregnancy? HCG, HPL and relaxin, estrogen, progesterone and HCG, cortisol, prolactin and thyroxine, prolactin, progesterone and HCG. Right. Only during the pregnancy. Pregnancy time ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದು? See here, prolactin is produced during the pregnancy, but progesterone, but HCG. Okay. Cortisol, prolactin, thyroxine, but thyroxine is produced other than the pregnancy period also. Estrogen is also produced, but here other than the pregnancy period, you can observe the HCG, HPL and relaxin. They are produced only during the pregnancy ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಇದು ಮೂರನ್ನ ನೀವು ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆನ್ಸಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗೋದನ್ನ ನೋಡಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. Next question. Which of the following events does not occur after the implantation? Implantation ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ events ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Okay. Appearance of the germinal layers, formation of the chorionic villi, secretion of the HCG, formation of tropoblast and inner cell mass. Read the question properly. Here, after the implantation, appearance of the germinal layers, yes, that occurs. Ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm occur after the implantation, and chorionic villi also formed. HCG is also released after the implantation. But option D, formation of the tropoblast and inner cell mass, that is not takes place after the implantation. So before the implantation it will form and the cell get implanted in the uterus. So option D only. 3 is the correct answer. 12th one, third one, yes, is the correct answer. 13th question. Read the statement properly. Statement 1. The process of release of sperms from the seminiferous tubule is called spermatogenesis. Statement 2. The spermatids are transformed into spermatozoa by the process called spermiogenesis. Choose the correct answer. So which one statement is correct, which one is not correct? Tell me the correct answer in the chat box. Yes? What is the answer for the 13th question? Which statement is correct here? Okay, many are telling 13th one C. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Check it once. The process of release of sperms from the seminiferous tubule is not called as a spermatogenesis. It is called as a spermiation. It is called as a spermiation. Check the definition of the spermiation. So option 1, that is a statement 1 is incorrect. See the statement 2, the spermatids are transformed into spermatozoa by the process called spermiogenesis. That is correct. So option, which one? Option 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. Option D, Students, practice more this type of question statement and which statement is correct, which statement is wrong, this type of the questions, because very important. Okay, option D is the correct answer. The function of myometrium layer present in the uterine wall is 2. What is the function of the myometrium? Here, the myometrium that exhibit the strong uterine contraction during the parturition. Okay, so it will not give the protection for the uterus. Cyclical changes undergoes in the endometrium ಅಲ್ವಾ ಎಂಡೋಮೆಟ್ರಿಯಂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ cyclical changes ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, but uterine help in the implantation, that is also endometrium, but myometrium that causes the uterine contraction during the parturition. The dash hormone is secreted by the ovary in the later phase of the pregnancy. So which hormone is released? Find out the answer. Androgens, estrogens, relaxin, progesterone. Which hormone is released by the ovary during the pregnancy? So find out the correct answer and write your answer in the comment box. If you have any doubts on this topic, any topic of this chapter, you can write down in the comment box. Comment box ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನೇ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದ್ರು ಬರೀರಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಓಕೆ. So here it completes the chapter human reproduction. So we have covered the all topics from this chapter, and some we have solved the some MCQ questions and important topics also we have studied. So here it completes the human reproduction chapter. Thank you. If you have any doubt, you can write down in the comment box. Thank you.